strongest signs of alien existence. Number 5. Ancient signs of modern technology, aliens, and UFOs. Through the years, there have been many discoveries of drawings, paintings, carvings, and other records of ancient times in all different time periods and different civilizations around the globe that hint at alien visits in the past. These actual Egyptian hieroglyphics show what appears to be images of a helicopter, submarine, boat, an older looking car, and jet airplane. Many believe this is proof that aliens once visited the ancient Egyptians, arriving in their advanced technology and leave behind quite an interesting story for our ancestors to tell. And that's just the beginning. There are literally thousands of examples of these. The image of the cave painting that is 15,000 years old, found in a French cave, and unmistakably looks like a UFO. There are even alien figures found in the famous Laco caves with alien figures all over it. We have the Lolidov plate, which is a 12,000-year-old stone dish from Nepal, which seems to have a reptile, some bacteria or octopus-looking beings, and right in the center, an alien. The Sanskrit scroll, which depicts Vimanas, meaning flying palace, which are some of the oldest written texts known, which seem to have UFOs in the background. The famous Madonna and Saint Giovannino, the 15th century with flashy flying disc-like object in the daytime sky. It's being watched by a man and his dog. And the list goes on. These same images are seen all over the world and all have the same hidden objects, which would be next to impossible to communicate to each other in these times. Number 4. Near misses on the rise. The number of near misses that have been between UFOs and commercial aircraft is quite disturbing. Both the Ministry of Defense and the Civil Aviation Authority have several cases where aircraft have come very close to being blown out of the sky. The Ministry of Defense was getting more Freedom of Information Act requests about UFOs than any other subject, so there was clearly vast public interest in this. The Ministry of Defense decided to declassify and release an archive which included over 8,500 pages, which show how much attention there was on these encounters and how many there were. Pilots were seeing things, air traffic controls were picking up targets on the radar, jets were being scrambled, and pilots were trying to chase these things to get a closer look. The number of near collisions involving UFOs and commercial airlines seems only to grow larger with every passing year. Number 3. Unsolved sightings. There are more registered sightings of UFOs than you can imagine, but some are more noteworthy and hold a bit more water than the crazed farmer seeing something in his fields. The Stephenville Lights in 2008. There were over 200 witnesses of the UFO, including 3 police officers that did not want their identity revealed. This case remains unsolved. There is famous moments like during the Apollo 11 moon landing where unexplained objects appeared. 3 days into the Apollo 11 mission, the crew reported a strange flying object not far from their location. Buzz Aldrin has also spoken of his own experience on board the Apollo 11, where they saw something flying alongside them. At first, they thought it was a final stage of the detached rocket, until Mission Control confirmed it was 6,000 miles away from them. To this day, the highly trained crew and team of NASA scientists have no official explanation for what the object could have been. I guess that is if you believe the moon landing even happened. Number 2. Mars methane. Aliens might not be what we think of them as just a grey being or a flying disc. It can be as simple as a small microbe or bacteria. There must be some sort of life somewhere close in our reach, right? It turns out that we are looking in a very deep space for life, but it may be much closer to home than we may have thought. Back in 2004, there were 3 independent groups that verified that there was a high amount of methane found within the atmosphere of Mars. This is an extremely amazing discovery due to the fact that nearly all the methane that is found in the Earth atmosphere is created by all of the living organisms. Number 1. Men in Black. The Men in Black are men, or aliens, dressed in black suits who have been reported to harass or threaten UFO witnesses to keep them quiet about what they have seen. In most cases, the men claim to be government agents, but it is often suggested that they may be ancient aliens themselves. A hotel owner reported an alleged UFO spotting. During the course of the inquiry, some strange characters showed up at the hotel and were caught on the surveillance camera system. Not finding the hotel owner at work, the 2 men asked some uncomfortable questions, but it was their bizarre appearance which spooked the staff on duty that day. The phenomenon has been frequently reported since the 1950s and the 1960s, but some researchers, including John Keel and others, have suggested similarities between the Men in Black reports and earlier demonic accounts. During the Middle Ages, the black men were not a person with African features, but rather a man colored in black and dressed in black. These creatures are larger and characterized by a wide grinning face. In most cases, people describe a strange sensation of not being able to focus in on the grinning man. It has been suggested that the smile is an attempt by the aliens to conform to society and keep humans feeling safe, but in all reports, the figure is described as extremely creepy. Is it all just a baseline fantasy, or is it really an agency that sends out darkly dressed men to secure people's silence?